Hi everybody, this is Danielle. Welcome to my YouTube channel Danielle Style, where we deal with topics from business to style. This is going to be a story time. A couple of days ago I saw on the news that a woman was caught transporting, you know, DRGS in her lady parts. So that brought up in my mind, in my memory, the time when the authorities in the Guyanese airport, the Cherry Jigan, I believe is how it's said, Cherry Jigan International Airport, believed that I was a DRG mule. So this happened, okay, we're in 2021 right now, so this happened around 2007, and I had now started traveling and stuff because I had now gotten a stable job. So I decided to go Guyana with some church friends. I was in a church group. First, I would have to say Guyana is really beautiful. I really liked it. Was so interesting seeing things like the wooden houses, and where we stayed, there was a well. Certain other things happened, like there wasn't water and stuff, but it was still really interesting going shopping, etc., etc., seeing the sights. So we may have stayed there about 4 or 5 days. I can't remember. It was so long ago. So this is us back at the airport, the Cherry Jigan airport, with all of our things, our luggage, getting ready to board a flight back here to Trinidad and Tobago. Now there were about, I would say about 8 people, and this church group was from different, the members was from from different Caribbean countries. So it was really interesting meeting them, etc., etc. So all of us are there getting ready to finish being processed, and we were on our way to go onto the aircraft. Now I was around 27, 26 at the time, around there, and the next person close in age to me was around maybe 50. So most of them were basically over 60, and 2 of them were around 50 because they were talking about, or mid-50s, because they were talking about retiring, etc., etc. My point is, I was the youngest person there by a long shot. So all of us are going our way, la-di-da. And if you know me, I am a slow walker. I take my time. It annoys people. I can't help it, but most of the time I take my time. And so I am at the back of the group walking, and out of nowhere, about 2 or 3 men come with a couple of dogs. And they did not greet me. They did not tell me anything. They did not. One minute I was walking, and the next minute there were dogs sniffing me and my luggage. All right. So I saw them were there. They were there sniffing me, and the people were holding the dogs by the leashes. But they're not looking at me. They're not looking at me. They're not telling me anything. They didn't even say good day. Nothing. So I'm like, okay, whatever. And I started back walking, because of course I stopped, because I'm like, where these dogs come from? Oh, and mind you, people, the men were not in any kind of uniform. They were just plain clothes. Right? So I at first stopped when the dogs just came and they were sniffing me and my luggage. So when I started back walking, all of a sudden the men start bawling, hey, hey, hey. So I am looking at them. When I look at them, they are not looking at me. And the dogs are still sniffing me and the luggage. So then I start back walking, because if you are trying to talk to somebody and you're saying, hey, and the person looks at you, wouldn't you look at them? These people haven't looked at me yet. So I start back trying to walk again. They're like, hey. So then it's only then I realize, okay, these dogs with the people who are holding them are somehow examining me and sniffing me. No, they haven't looked at me yet. So I don't even know what's going on. They haven't told me anything yet. Nothing. We weren't even in a you know how in airports you would be in a set line? This wasn't even like a set line. This was like a veranda. It was just an open space and you were just walking. So it wasn't even like if you were in a line being processed. Right? So after the second hey, hey, I just stopped and I was looking at the dogs. The dogs were looking at me. They were sniffing. The three men were still acting like if, they had nothing to do with me, because they haven't looked at me yet, said anything to me yet, greeted me yet. This lasted about, about 3 minutes or so. And I was just sitting there waiting. Well, sorry, not sitting, standing waiting. And these dogs sniffing. And they stopped sniffing. And the three men just walked off. I think it was 2 dogs and 3 men. And they just walked off. And I just stood there. I looked for the people who I came with, who I was on the trip with. And they were in a group looking back at me. They were like about 10 or 15 paces ahead of me. And when I realized, okay, the dogs and the people are gone, then I started back to walk. Can you all imagine that? No greeting, no, excuse me, can you stand up? Wait a minute for us to check you. Nothing. Oh, and they did not check anybody else. The older people in the group, they didn't check anybody else. You understand? So I'm there like, I am still confused there, because I really didn't believe this just happened. I'm still confused. It's only when I went to the others that they said, one of the women said how, because of my age, my race, and how I was dressed, or that was dressed as if I was going to a church trip, right? So I was dressed modestly or whatever. But the way that I looked, maybe I look like a mule. So they were checking me up. Yeah, so that's the whole story, and I am still confused at how people, plain clothes, not even in a uniform, nothing, could just be like that. So yeah, that's the little story. Feel free to subscribe to Daniel Style for more videos on Trini events, lifestyle, news, etc. Bye.